Animal girls in poofy jackets with guns is finally back. Arknights has finally returned with Rise from Embers. At this point, technically, I think episode 17 of this series overall, and my gosh, what an epic return. For those that don't know, for those that are new to the channel, I have been basically covering the Arknights series ever since the very beginning of it, and I've absolutely thoroughly enjoyed this series. Despite the fact that I've played the game, I never actually read the story, and so I have a lot of really nice fans from the actual game that are kind of giving me insights here and there of stuff that may have been missed, but overall kind of supporting me through this journey of the actual story for once. Even though a lot of them say, my gosh, the story's not even that good yet. Why do you enjoy this show? I'm like, that's fine. If I'm loving it right now, whenever it's supposed to get good, I'm going to love it even more. So it all works for me in the end. I just really love the characters, the world building and all that kind of stuff has always been the fascinating thing for me. And so yes, when the series comes back, sure enough, I'm here to cover it. So hopefully you'll all join me once again for our journey through Rise from Ember. Already from the first episode, we're kind of kicking off where we left off. It's so funny. I'm opening up this episode. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. We left it there, didn't we? It was kind of a bad stopping point, especially for such a big gap that we had between the two seasons. Having Chen's off. She just found out these black cloaked people were possibly ordered by Wei himself to essentially attack the slums and the people there, and she's ticked off. It's always given the sense that Chen has never really liked Lungmen. Even at some point, Wei points out the fact that he believes that she was trying to set up some sort of foundation in order to build up from that she can then replace him. And so there is a sense here where she's never liked it. And yes, as we find out, she's been infected for the last 3 years. She's never felt like she was one of them because everything they're doing, Lungmen itself is doing in order to protect itself. This is sort of that gray area where you understand both sides. I understand Wei's side of the perspective where he's trying to protect Lungmen. In the end, the people is king. Everything for them. So when you have, yes, the slums here, and the slums are accepting people in, they're accepting Reunion specifically in, they're allowing this infestation of their country, and they're not allowing their people to get in there in order to resolve situations and get rid of Reunion. He feels betrayed. But from Chen's perspective she's always felt like one of them. She's always felt like an outsider. And then that whole situation with her finding what's happening in the sewers and finding out what the cloaked people did, finding out that's, essentially the choice that was made by Wei himself. This isn't a decision that Lin would have made. They've made that choice, and now I'm furious by you. I've realized that I am not one of Lungmen. I'm not a Lungmen Knight, I think they put it. It's a really weird name, I'm sorry. I'm not one of you. I've always felt like an outsider. Like what she says at the very end to Hoshigimi. Her girlfriend, her Hoshigimi. I just love the two of them. I thought they were totally going to go together. What she told at the end there. You've always been one of them. I've never been one of them. I've always been an outsider. Finally, that moment where that kind of breaks finally for her. And again, I felt like that was the case in the final scenes that we've seen of her in the previous season. That she's kind of just, after that phone call that was with Nine, it was finally that moment of like, oh, everything clicks for her. Everything clicks for her. I'm done. I'm done with this place. I'm no longer one of you. And she wants to go on her own. I'll handle this myself. It was a really interesting way to leave it. Like I said, with the previous season, right there as she's coming in there and she's furious and just barking at him. And then again, I think at the time, at the very end of the episode, you had Fumizuki and Kaotsit come in. And she's like cuts off right there. Really bad spot to leave it. But again, going into this episode, kicking off right there, it was a really good introduction here. Just getting this kind of layout of what they sort of see is going on here. Which, what I'm kind of gathering from here, and again, I have to apologize to people if some of this stuff was already revealed before. I think that's sort of the stuff that I sort of trip up with when it comes to new seasons after a big gap, is when things were actually revealed. The consensus coming down is that the Empire is sort of allowing Chernobog to come over there by the use of the Reunion to collide it with Lungmen, bringing this massive amount of people that are infected into their lands, and thus destroying them. They're allowing this to happen, and they're waiting to see if Lungmen will fight back, and if they were to attack Chernobog and stop it from colliding, thus saving their lives, they can then enact war. And why that's so important is if it looks like Lungmen is the actual aggressors, then they won't have support with anybody else. They're alone. You're going to be staying there alone. Which, yes, when that realization kind of hits Wei finally, his reaction is to, well, I'll sacrifice myself to stop it. We're going to go to war. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to destroy it myself. We'll destroy the core. We'll stop this thing. He can't just sit by. And I think there is sort of an element here of conflict that Wei is having where he doesn't want to necessarily accept the help of Rhodes Island. Now, this is where I'm probably get into a realm where I'm probably forgetting something, or possibly it's something that is yet to be revealed, is I'm still kind of curious as to why Wei at this moment, when it does seem like Rhodes Island could be a proper choice for him to go in order to... In my mindset here, if Rhodes Island is offering their help, my assumption here would be to accept their help, allow them to go in there to take down Chernobog or stop it, and then use that opportunity to sort of wipe your hands clean. Wei could totally allow them to do that and then claim that he had nothing to do with it. If it's Rhodes Island that stops Chernobog, it's not Lungmen. It's them. It's Rhodes Island. He could totally do that and get away with it. But he still doesn't accept it. And there was an odd statement that was made towards the later part of it, which was where he essentially says, and this is after Fumizuki... I love Fumizuki's like, oh gosh, I hate how long-winded this whole situation. I try to do this nice. She goes over there and she's like, all right, Rosetta, do it. Go do it. Stop the thing. Save Shin. Do everything you can. Save Talala. Like, do everything. She's just gonna allow it. And Wei's getting like, what the hell? You can't do that. But he says specifically, what's to say that you don't become the next reunion? And I think that could come into the realm of sort of seeing that, yes, Rhodes Island does have a lot of people within it that are infected. This entire setup so far has been the idea of essentially the infected and those that are not infected. And how those that are infected are sort of pushed aside, eradicated, gotten rid of, thrown in the ditch, not taken care of. And now Reunion is sort of a group of them that is trying to rise up and to come back and fight back to reclaim their rights and their humanity. But in the middle has always been Rhodes Island. Rhodes Island is the group of people that are trying to help the infected, prolong their lifespans, get them rights back from those that are trying to take the rights back. They're that middle ground, that area that's trying to see good in all people. They're trying to be the peacekeepers. And so I can see him sort of saying, yeah, we're the uninfected, and we're trying to protect our uninfected. And you're a group that's coming in that is infected, that's trying to be nice. But that's sort of the same with Reunion. But they're very violent. You both have guns. You both have infected people. You both have taken violent actions. What's to say you're not the same as them? He just can't seem to trust anybody that's infected. But I don't think it's that simple. I really don't think it's that simple. And I'm kind of curious if it will eventually get into what exactly is that push that he has. And that could just be simply the aspect that they're outsiders. In the end, Rhodes Island is not Lungmen. They are not Lungmen. He's a leader. Leaders don't just simply trust somebody because come with a smile. Just because cute little Amiya walks in there with her little donkey ears and looks all cute and says, I love everybody, and he's not going to quickly go, oh yeah, good girl. Save everybody, please. Here, you're the main character. Press the button. Save everybody. It's just not that simple. But again, I going back, I do think that a good portion of this story or this episode was really well done around Shin. Because again, a lot of her frustration is in everything that Wei has done that seemingly seems like it's against what is essentially what she has become. Now, it does reveal that he did know that she was infected. He ordered her not to reveal it to anybody. But I think it's by watching all of his actions and everything he's done that has shown her that he's mistreating those that are like her. I think it's the biggest statement in this whole entire conversation is really the point where she says, oh, that's right, but I'm infected. So thus, I need to get discarded too, right? I technically shouldn't exist here too. Are you going to get rid of me? I think there is that certain point where she realizes you just got rid of the people that were like me, and I'm one of them, and I'm standing right in front of you. When are you going to get rid of me? But I think in the end, similar to the conversation that she has with Hoshigumi later on, in the end, the most important thing to her is Lungmen. Like, I think at the end she says there, I'm not one of you. I've never been a Lungmen. I've never been accepted here. I've always been an outsider, just like everybody else that got eradicated. And as she's walking away, Hoshigumi's like, you're acting as if this is the thing that you think, that you hate these people, but you're the one that cares about it the most. She knows that she loves Lungmen. And again, that's going to go into... We'll see with her attacking Chernobog, going for the core, if she will end up being a self-sacrifice. If she's going to go in there and sacrifice herself just for the sake of Lungmen, and how that technically could change Wei's view on those that are infected. We'll see. But yeah, after Shen did leave, Amiya brought up a very important question, which was pretty much what the hell's going on with Tala and Shin. What is their connection between the two of them? Which that's the point they reveal that, yes, they're both sisters. But they kind of got into that a little bit the last season. Basically what Shin ended up finding. And the idea that, yes, Tala is her sister. They're half-sisters, both from the same mother. And at some point during the time in which Wei was building up to take over leadership, the Duke basically fighting against him at some point got a hold of his daughter Tala and took her hostage. And it seems to imply the idea that at the very end of the fight, Wei had a decision to make between either Lungmen or his daughter. And it's sort of implying the idea that he allowed him to take Tala in order for the fight to end, which that's a question mark. I guess I can see that if the Duke seen some sort of innate power behind Tala, because I think they implied it before that there was this expectation that she was going to be very powerful. So it could have been an aspect where he said, okay, let me take Tala and I'll concede, I'll give up, and Wei wanting to stop the war, stop the fighting, essentially allowed it. That's the question mark there. But it is sad to realize that, yes, at this point, he just sees Tala as just straight out a traitor, which is kind of disgusting for him to say when it seems to imply he gave her up. I don't know, or at least maybe just imply the idea that he did not pursue him, not that he gave her up, he just didn't pursue it enough that he could have. But it implies the idea that, yes, seeing that the Duke has made appearances with Tala implies the idea that he has essentially presented her as his daughter, thus opening the door for her to be his successor. And that, again, for them, implies the idea that, yeah, full on, she's against us. And she's now working with him, driving Turnabog straight towards us. We have to get rid of her. But that said, after everything that happened there, despite the fact that he claims that she is a traitor, claims that this is a target, claims that he has to do what he needs to do, in the end, the cloaked individual that was there said, give me the order, I will take Tala's head, and I will bring back Chen. Again, still implying the idea that even though she's infected, even though she's turned on them, even though she's claimed that she's not a Longman, they still want Chen there. Even though she's going to die eventually. It kind of shows a lot of desire to still protect her. But even though the guy said, give me the order to take her life and bring Chen back, he told him no and told him leave. Which does give me the feeling there that even though he does have the power to bring out the cloaked individuals to handle the situation, he's still not doing it. Which makes me wonder if he doesn't want to rely on the cloaked individuals, like he feels this is his own responsibility, something that he wants to handle himself. I'm kind of curious. He has basically three options in front of him at that moment. I go there myself like I was claiming I was going to do. I can have the cloaked individuals go do it, or I can have Rhodes Island do it. He doesn't want Rhodes Island do it. He can go do it himself, and he chooses not to have the cloaked individuals do it either. That's the interesting thing there. But yeah, like I said earlier, Fumizuki's moments in this episode were so freaking good. I do appreciate the fact that she does acknowledge that Wei is trying to do what's best. But what she's sort of kind of pressing on him in this whole moment in later parts is, you don't want this to end this way. You don't want this to end this way. You don't want both of your daughters to have pushed you away like this and this be the end of it. Which I think is the big reason why she eventually decides to go to Rhodes Island. She knows that they can't handle it themselves. She knows that it's going to cause a war. She knows that he's just being full of pride himself right now. He's being full of himself. He's being too headstrong. Okay, Rose Island. No, we can't do that. They might turn into No, shut the hell up. She got so freaking angry. Shut up. I'll give you whatever you want. Shut up. I just loved her. She was so awesome in this episode. But yeah, it wrapped up the episode with Chen driving out there, Hoshigumi waiting. And again, Hoshiguma knowing full well that Shen, of anybody, Longmin is extremely important to her. But at the same time, Hoshigumi, similar to, I think we had a sort of outburst like this previously, where Hoshigumi, I think she was self-sacrificing to Shen, where she was trying to sacrifice herself for her or something like that, and they got onto each other. But similar to that whole situation, Hoshigumi is literally saying, stop. You're trying to handle everything yourself. We have the orders. Oh, you're not going to stop me. You're my friend. No, I got orders. I know what you're doing. You're going to go and get yourself killed. I'm bringing you in. We're not doing this. Freaking takes her and chucks her. Chucks her. They duke it out for a little bit. And again, really establishing right here, Chen realizes, I'm not part of you guys. I've never been a part of you guys. I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to handle this myself. And yes, that's my sister. Clicks right there. Hoshigumi, it just clicks right there. Okay, I can't stop you. Go before I change my mind. Go before I change my mind. But yeah, sticking on that one point, can never forgive the city. How many people care about it as much as you? Again, I think this is going to end with Shen. I think she might have the mindset of going there for self-sacrifice, and I think it's going to have somebody actually stop her. But yes, other than that, we did have one last segment of the episode, which was technically at the very beginning, so I'm sorry I'm coming back to this, of the doctor going to the lab and dropping off Frost Nova, running into Rosemontis. I remember Rosemontis, we ran into her very briefly, or at least I remember one single clip of her. She may have been somewhere else. We've seen a brief clip of her at some point, I think in the later parts of the last season, where she had a tablet, and it seemed to imply the tablet was broken, and that there was some information on it, that a log that she wanted to check. And it seems like this is a log that is very important to her, seems to have something to do with her mother. So I'm assuming this is a girl that has barely any memories. Something is causing her to lose her memories or something. So she's always trying to relive the memories through her documents. She said something to the effect that she has to write down everything in order to remember it. And it's very important that she has to write it herself. Even the machine's like, I can enter that data directly. And she's like, no, I have to write it myself. So there's like a lot of importance to that tablet, logging information, and essentially putting to words what her memories are, or something like that. Anyway, she's cute. That all aside, she's cute. She's actually adorable. But anyways, she confronts him. Very interesting here, though. Okay, so yeah. We're bringing Frost Nova here, I guess, in order to... This is where everybody that dies from the infection has to go, and they place them inside these caskets. And I don't know if they cremated or just stored away, question mark, I don't know. But either way, there's a couple sad aspects here. One is that, yeah, she's very familiar with these machines. It seems like on a regular basis, she brings individuals that have died from the disease there in order to get rid of them. She knows how to use the machinery. But there's a few interesting lines here. Initially, yes, she's acknowledging that the doctor is hurting. Oh, you're hurt. Did she hurt you? No, it looks like you've lost something. It implied the idea that she basically became a member of Rhodes Island before she passed away. And so the doctor losing her is like losing one of his own. And it could imply the idea that they've known each other longer than that. I don't know if they've actually implied that aspect there. But it was interesting because she went to go touch Frost Nova and he pulled her away. And Rosemontis said, her connection to this world has no connection to me. I have no right to touch her. That was an interesting statement. I don't know. That's some weird cryptic stuff that I'm not sure what that's implying. It could have something to do with, again, her tablet and how she sees her connection to memories and possibly feeling that she is not allowed to connect to her. And this is something that's only for the doctor. That connection has already been broken. Because it does technically get in that. As he goes over there and she opens up the casket and he goes to place her down, there's this emphasis that she's given the doctor of the idea that every time you lose somebody, it's sort of like that thread of fate that connects individuals, it breaks. And yes, while it breaks off of the person that you're sending off, that thread is always hanging on your finger. So that could tie in with what she's saying. Her connection to this world has no connection to me. I didn't have one of those threads to me, so I have no right to touch her. You two have it, so I shouldn't get in the way. That could be. But yes, it goes further than that, and the idea that doctors talk about the idea of sort of getting used to that pain. And again, this sort of shows the difference between Rosemontis and the doctor is that she has seemingly lost more, and thus she is more used to it. Whereas for him, and this could be a lot to do with the fact that he's lost his memories, this is the first kind of true facing of a loss of somebody close to him that he has so far. So yeah, she's pointing out the fact that yes, eventually you start getting used to that sting. Every time it happens, you have that stinging feeling, and over time, it hurts less. But either way, very, very strong segments there. Again, I think the star of the episode was definitely Fumizuki. Just love her to death. Kautsa too. I always love whenever Kautsa goes out there with some extreme logic that nobody can really break past. Girl is super smart. Again, very good start to the season. I will admit that yes, very, very info dump. We had like just basically a massive meeting for most of the episode, but it's that politics that I technically do really like about this series. I know a lot of people are kind of put off by the idea there's not enough action, but I find this stuff, like, again, Ursus and using Chernobog to take over Lungmen, and Lungmen having to make the choice whether to strike back or let themselves get hit. Like, they technically could just hole up, lock things down, pull everybody back, but there's really a choice that has to be made. And again, I think even though Wei has made some really disgusting choices in the past, which I really feel for Shen, there is an element here of survival. There's a survival aspect to it. Anyway, I think I covered everything. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. For all those that returned back from last season, thank you guys for joining me. As per usual, greatly appreciate your guys' support. If you like this content and you want to support channel more, I have links in the description below. Also become a member of the channel. But until next time, y'all take care.